All right, I think we're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Vendetta Sports Media Daily Show. I am Chris Bagdonas here with the Diamond, Matt Hanifan. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing all right. It's the second episode. I'm ready to get to it. I don't think we'll have as much to talk about as Trey, Chickster, and Garrett did yesterday.
Yeah, they had a big time episode yesterday, but I think it's really cool. We're getting some good time here on the stream, just kind of going through. Obviously, they had the pick of the NFL content to go over, but there's still some sprinklings of things we could go over.
Yeah, where do you want to start with this?
I mean, I guess we could. I guess
start with news.
I guess in terms of like
yesterday's games, where do you want to start?
I think we could quickly go over Slack because I feel like there wasn't too much to go over. Obviously, we saw in yesterday's episode they went over some of the interns that have struggled. Obviously, my boy Griffin, number 2 pick, he is flying up the Rookie of the Year ladder right now, writing some really good posts.
Yeah, he's done a good job.
I feel bad for my man Garrett. I know he had the chance and he missed out, but hey, Griffin, aka Toothpaste, keep it up, my man. You're doing a great job. Off to a great start.
How did the Toothpaste nickname originate? Do you know?
I know it was in Slack. I think it was like as a joke. I forget if it was like Garrett or Chickster. They like said like something about toothpaste with Garrett, and it just stuck. I think it was in the NFL Slack, and it just like kind of just took legs from there. And now he's also known as Toothpaste. But obviously, if anyone's in the comments, you can feel free to clarify that if I got something wrong. But in terms of the other stuff in the Slack, I feel like there isn't like too much going on these days, especially after the weekend and stuff.
Well, yeah, there's not I don't think anything more compared to what the 3 already talked about yesterday.
Yeah. But I guess I know that
there's been people who have intern class hasn't gotten off to a good start.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But.
Yeah, and I guess we could also quickly touch on Trey has officially placed his curse on the Carolina Hurricanes after they refused to apologize and call the Max Pacioretty trade a bad one. And, you know, if I am a Hurricanes fan, I would be pretty nervous. Obviously, you see, I'm an Islanders fan, so I am loving that Trey has put a curse on my division rivals. You know, hopefully I can get some good vibes going as the second half of the NHL season kind of comes into swing. But, you know, the Hurricanes – I can understand where Trey's coming from. I wouldn't like to have my opinion be put out and then be replied and spammed with mental health links. I don't think that's really the best way to respectfully disagree with someone.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I mean, like, usually, I mean, for me personally, I would just ignore it. But I know Trey and I are different in that respect. And I mean, everyone to each their own. They go about their business a different way. Trey wants to put a curse on the Carolina Hurricane fan base.
Yeah, the team
is right too. I mean, my biggest question when you were just talking, the thing I was thinking about, like, has Trey put any curses on any other fan bases that I don't know about?
I think he did. Sure. He put a curse on the Tennessee Titans, and obviously that was like a couple of years ago. And obviously, you know, they haven't they had the number 1 seed last year, but other than that, they haven't really won much of anything, and they've lost AJ Brown. So I feel like, you know, if that curse, you know, it could spell some trouble for the Hurricanes.
I mean, yeah. Do you know way more about this than I do, because I don't follow hockey all that much? Where are, like, the Panthers at in the standings? Are they good? Bad?
So Carolina is like right now they're like a unit. They're like number 1 in their division pretty much. The team to beat right now in hockey is the Bruins. They're like number 1, like by a landslide. But Carolina's coming in as one of those number 2, number 3 teams that are looking really strong. But I think, you know, this guy Pacioretty they traded for, he's a talented player. I can't even, you know, I can't fight that. But, you know, excuse me, Trey's whole thing is, he's like made of glass. Like, he gets hurt very often. You know, as soon as they, you know, the Golden Knights, his former team in Vegas, they traded him for nothing. Like, they didn't want any picks, any players, nothing, future considerations. And, you know, Trey, the Golden Knights are doing great this season. I think Trey has no problem with the trade. But, you know, he kind of has a different view on it where, you know, despite the talent, despite the production, it's not a lot of production because he doesn't play in a lot of games. And all he needed was one Hurricanes fan to just say, "You're right. This guy is very injury prone. It's not the greatest move, but instead it's mental health links and a curse on the Hurricanes. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out."
Yeah, because I did see his mentions. It was like he was getting a lot of like negative feedback.
Yeah, he was getting a lot of quotes and a lot of comments on that initial video. But
it's happened to. I don't want to say it's happened to all of us. Not to that extent. It's happened to me too. I've gotten cooked on tweets before. It's not.
I have certainly got cooked. But I know obviously we both know Trey pretty well. He is not willing to let anyone give him that smack. He gave it right back, and now there's a curse on their franchise. So they we'll see who's laughing last, I guess.
So what you're telling me is not to bet the Hurricanes to win the Stanley Cup.
I would not say this year. I feel like knowing Trey, he's still waiting on that case of beer for the Titans. And now he's waiting for an apology from Hurricanes fans. I think, I would steer clear of Carolina. I'd go for Boston right now if I had to pick a team.
I wonder what the list of people is that like Trey just wants an apology for like either the littlest or the biggest reasons.
I think he's a pretty big list. I think the ESPN fantasy guy, Sean Allen, he's climbing up that list in the #1 spot. I just saw he dropped another post about it the other day. And I think we could make it an hour and a half long show to talk about the kind of enemies that Trey has.
Russell Westbrook, no.
Russell Westbrook. Well, I guess that's a good transition. Russell Westbrook. I saw a post on Twitter. The Los Angeles Wizards. It's definitely taking place right now after this Hachimura trade. You got Westbrook, Troy Brown, Hachimura, and Thomas Bryant. So I think it's I saw Trey's post and I agree. I think it's a really good trade for the Lakers.
Yeah, I did a video on it yesterday. I think Trey embedded it. I'm with you there. I thought it was a good trade from the Lakers' perspective. At first, I was confused. From Washington's perspective, I was like, okay, Kendrick Nunn and 3 second-round picks. Was that the best deal that they could have fielded? But then when you look at it, so Hachimura and Nunn are both on expiring deals. I was wrong with the video yesterday. I said Hachimura was about $5 million. I think it's a little over $6 million. But he's on the final year of his rookie contract. Nunn is on the final year of his 2-year contract that he signed with the Lakers ahead before the start of the 2021-22 season. And I guess I think it was 23, 28, and 29 are the second-round picks.
Yeah, so something like that.
Kind of spread out. Those probably aren't going to be very valuable, but from the perspective of, okay, at least maybe a couple of those picks will be towards the latter end of the first, like it would be 31 to 40. So they might not be terrible second-round picks. I mean, it's hard to hit when you're past 15, 20 in the draft anyways. I mean, the best teams will probably find a way to find talent and develop talent, but nevertheless, those aren't probably terrible second-round picks. You could probably package those in smaller deals as like fillers or extra, whatever. I mean, I don't know if Wizards are going to really care about those picks. I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years from now. Who the hell knows? Yeah. I mean, Nunn. It was a little bit weird that like I don't know. I'm not off the top of my head. Like, could they have tried to get like maybe like Schroeder or like? Because Nunn was in and out of the Lakers rotation a little bit, and even when he was in the Lakers rotation, he wasn't that good. He was another small guard that just added to the Lakers' small size. I mean, they were the smallest team in the NBA before this trade. They probably still are probably one of the smallest. Yeah. Hachimura, he was in a logjam, and so that was also tough for his trade value when you get to leak that Western Conference teams that are in need of shooting, aka the Lakers, are the ones who are in the biggest hunt for him. That probably lowers his trade value from the perspective of, okay, not a lot of teams are in on Rui Hachimura. I mean, there might be teams in the East like the Heat or the Hawks or like whomever are Hachimura, but in general, it was most of the teams that needed shooting, and the Lakers were one of the worst shooting teams in the league. But it was still confusing to me, like, is that the best deal that you could offer, or that they received Kendrick Nunn and 3 second-round picks? I mean, the Lakers weren't going to get, or the Wizards weren't going to get a first-round pick, because the Lakers' 2 first-round picks are in 2027 and 2029. And so they weren't going to trade. They're not trading those anywhere. It doesn't look like they're going to trade them. They might. Who knows? If they do trade them, it will probably be attached to like a Westbrook or or for a bigger trade piece, whether it's like Heel, Turner, or whatever. But they're not. They had limited assets that they could deal with. But I just wonder. I don't think it's been like leaked yet or anything, but like what could, like, I don't like, were the Suns potentially?
Yeah, I mean,
like a Jay Crowder situation, or like what exactly was being offered for Rui? Because I mean, Rui's not a bad player. He's averaging 13 a game, I think, this year. He's
great corner shooter.
Yeah, like he's not the only. He's not going to like correct all the Lakers' issues, but it'll certainly help with his spot up shooting from the corner, above the break, wherever. And he's not like a bad rebounder. I mean, the one, I guess, liability, if you want to consider it a liability, is defensively. But I don't think I think he's gotten a little bit better as a defender over his career. I mean, he's a former top 10 pick. Is former top 10 pick really going for 3 second-round picks and none? I mean, from that perspective, I think it's a huge win for the Lakers. Again, I don't think this is their only move that they're going to make. They're limited in moves that they can make. So it might be the only, like, it might be the biggest move. I don't know if it's the only move, but the market for Hachimura, it still kind of surprises me a little bit. It makes a little bit more sense just because they're both on expiring deals, but like, I don't know.
I know, and I'm just thinking, I totally agree. They are still definitely a trade away, and they're
multiple trades away. They're not going to become like a contender this season. It's really now like, all right, can you build for the future? I think right now for the Lakers, it's a lost season. But when you look at the standings, there's a 5.5 game difference between the 3rd seed, the Kings, and where the Lakers are at, 11 games back. Like there's a 5.5 game difference. So there could be a lot of shifting that's going on. I don't think it puts them over the top, but they're certainly still in the playoff chase.
No, I agree. And you think about it, and LeBron in year 20, so much has been said about him, but he's still dominant. You know, after his, 38th birthday, I just seen like his averages, and it's just through the roof.
Right.
Like, you just cannot, I like Hachimura, but like, how do you not get this guy some more help? Like, I just think, you're never going to see something like this, a once in a lifetime type of deal with LeBron, and, shooting, defense, you name it. Like, he just can't do it all himself. And it's sad that it resembles kind of his first stint in Cleveland, where, up until like yesterday, like it kind of was like, just go and win us the game, LeBron. And the fact that he's able to do it, 2 decades later is still pretty damn remarkable. But still, like, I don't know if it's Zach LaVine, I don't know who. I mean, Westbrook, as much as Trey hates him, I think he's quietly gone and done one of the most seamless transitions as a career starter to the bench. And, now he's starting to surface in the 6th man of the year conversation. I think that's a pretty impressive thing, but obviously the Lakers need a lot more than that. And, you got to think, like, what player in the trade market is worth those 2 27 and 29 first-round picks? And I just don't know really who that is yet.
Yeah, or, like, are the Lakers really going to part with Westbrook?
I know.
Because at this point, I have no idea. I really don't. Like, if you were to ask me in June, do I think the Lakers are going to trade Russell Westbrook with either of those 2 picks for, again, like a Buddy Hield or Miles Turner, that caliber player? I mean, I know that's the name that's getting thrown out there because they were almost traded to the Lakers anyways. I would have probably said yes. I probably would have been
Absolutely.
I don't think Russell Westbrook plays another game in the Lakers uniform at this point, since they've been so reluctant to trade those picks. I have no idea. And then, like, it also comes from the perspective. I don't remember where I heard this from, but, like, how much say does LeBron have at year 20 and age 38 compared to, like, when he was in Miami? Like, it felt like there was a lot more weight on everything that he, like, said. I mean, you're still going to get the quotes, that you're still going to get the subtle jabs at the front office of, like, all right, I want to compete. I don't want to win. I want to win. I don't want to lose anymore. But, like, how much weight does that carry now? At what point does it, like, a front office just be like, no, dude, like, we're going to do what we're going to do, what we think is best, and not what you think is best. Like, what point is that already becoming a thing? Because all year, LeBron has, again, thrown the subtle jabs, Pelinka in the Lakers front office, but yet I don't know if anything's going to transpire with Westbrook or the picks by the February 9th trade deadline, which is coming right up. I don't know. I mean, maybe they trade one of those picks for, like, maybe they find a deal where they want to trade, like, the 29 pick. But then again, like, if you're a team, it's like, okay, I'm trading away this asset depending on the asset that it is, like, why would I want to pick that's
60 years? Yeah. Kicking the can down the road. It's a tough thing, but I feel like LeBron's just at the point where I think he just wants to let his stats do the talking. And obviously, what is he, 200 something points away from passing like Kareem? And I'm sure there's still a team out there. I forget when exactly his contract's up, but there's still a team just because at name value alone, like LeBron James, the greatest player of the 21st century, like there will be a team that will like just cave in and just still, even at the age he's at. Like I feel like I don't think it would be Cleveland again because they're building something really special, I think, with that young group. And obviously, like Miami, I know he's a very close relationship with Pat Riley, but I know, you know better than me, Matt, about, what they're building over there.
I don't think so. I think, I still think I don't know if it was fractured, but like they've done some repairing to that relationship with Bron in the front office, at least it seems like, but I don't think there's any chance he comes back.
Yeah. And then the Lakers.
I'm not expecting it, at least. I mean, heck, I think what it really comes down to. I think his contract ends at the end of not this season, but next season because he signed that kind of extension in the offseason. I'm not 100% sure, but I really think it comes down to who drafts his son, and that
Bronny.
We'll figure that out 1 and 2 years from now. But like, there's going to be a team. I don't know if it'll be with the first pick, but whoever, because I don't know who's necessarily like in that class, but like, there's going to be a team within the first 10 picks. Even if they overvalue him, they're going to draft Bronny because it's like, we'll get LeBron, we'll get that marketing, we'll get that money.
Yeah.
And because, I mean, we know it's not – LeBron's even said it that he wants to play with his son. But now it's the fact of like, okay, a team is now going to take his son probably maybe higher than we thought as prognosticators thought, just because they get the LeBron factor. But then again, like, I'm sure a front office will be asking themselves, like, okay, like, why would we take, like, we're getting 40-year-old LeBron for a couple years. Like, do we really want to do that? I'm sure front office is asking that. And some teams might want it. I'm not going to fault the team.
Absolutely. And I'm thinking about it. Yeah. Like, it's like what's it called? Like a LeVar Ball situation, almost like, he was just riding that hype train so much ahead of LaMelo getting drafted and ahead of Lonzo getting drafted. And obviously the Lakers just, they ate it up. They got him second overall. And, aside from the injury, he's a pretty good player. But, I'm thinking that same thing where obviously I know LeBron is not going to be showboating his own son. I think he's just going to show him love like a good dad would. And, I see on his Instagram and stuff, he does that. But, I feel like this hype train is just going to right itself with Bronny. And just for the reasons you just said, like, the way LeBron has just been so public about his desire to play with him. And, I'm sure it's, like we've said, there's going to be a team that will jump the board and just take him. And, for those reasons you just listed out, just the storylines, the money, you name it. There's definitely a lot at stake there.
There's so much marketing potential with those first couple of years if you get LeBron and Bronny.
Yeah.
So teams can be like, I mean, I'm not the first person to say this, and I won't be the last. The NBA is a business. They care about money.
Yeah, money talks.
Yeah, money talks. Like, whether it's paying LeBron, you're probably going to have to pay LeBron a healthy amount of money. I don't know if it's going to be 35, 40, whatever, but you're going to have to pay LeBron a healthy amount of money for a couple of years. But guess what? There's a lot of marketing potential that you could do with a father-son duo.
Yeah.
Especially if it's the one where it's perhaps the greatest, if not one of the greatest players to ever play the game of basketball, plus his son who
has potential.
Who looks like fairly good as like a high school. Yeah. I don't know where he ranks among like his entire class. I will probably figure that out months and years down the line, but
right.
He's still like one of the more heralded names and one of the names that we know the most from that class. I think it's like a couple of years. I don't think it's
obviously, I think for sure the biggest name, but I don't know in terms of, how he's going to pan out. And just thinking about like what you said with money talks, like the Wizards didn't want to have an $18 million cap hold with Rui Hachimura. And I saw the Lakers picked him over Cam Reddish, I think, for that wing spot. And, those second round picks they wanted to burn, it makes sense. And as a Knicks fan, it makes me really bang my head, why Tom Thibodeau doesn't want to play Cam Reddish, because I'm a big fan of the guy.
See, that's where I'm like I've gone back and forth with Reddish. Like I do like the potential, the raw potential that he kind of has. I thought he showed a little bit of it when he was in Atlanta, at least before Nate showed up. Like it was there, but then like maybe I always get speculatory when something like this happens. Like maybe an NBA front office like the Knicks or like the Hawks or something like that knows something that we don't. Like Tibbs has always been not as much this year, but in years past he's always been stubborn with his rotations, right?
100%.
I mean, this year he's been a little bit more lenient. Like he's not playing Derrick Rose all that much, right?
Yeah.
He's been reluctant. He's changed it around. Quentin Grimes and Quickly and Miles McBride. Like those guys are getting a lot more minutes this year, and that's a good thing for the Knicks' development. That's not something you probably would have seen a few years ago if Tibbs was your head coach.
Totally.
So from that perspective, and heck, the Knicks, I mean, you know it, the Knicks are winning games right now.
Yeah, they're in the race. I'm shocked.
Right. They've been good this year. I love what I've seen from Brunson.
Yeah.
Randall's having maybe even a better year than he had a couple years ago. Like they've been a really good team, and Brunson's kind of stabilized that unit. And like when you're winning games, like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So
100%.
I think a team should probably take a chance on Reddish, but like at what point do you start saying like, okay, like maybe someone knows something that we don't? Again, I like the potential that he has. I think he could be a good role player in the NBA, but like, who the heck knows if he's not getting you playing? Like, how am I supposed to value?
It is interesting when you put it like that. I didn't even like think about it that way. Like, there's definitely something behind the scenes. You know,
maybe
if it's times, in Atlanta, if it ended the way it did, and now, the writing is on the wall in New York. But it's like you said, and now that, Mitchell Robinson, I think he broke his hand. He's going to be out a couple of weeks. And it'll be interesting to see how if Cam Reddish is really as available as reports are saying, I think they could definitely, find a rotation level big man and kind of make that swap. But I'm just, cautiously optimistic about the Knicks as always. Just hoping Jalen Brunson gets into the All-Star game, and that's about it.
I don't remember where, like, who was where in the last like voting cycle. Like, is Brunson up there?
I don't think he's in the top 10, but I know that, he's going to – I think – I'm going to look too.
Because that's interesting because, I mean, what I've seen or what I've been mostly tracking is, like, of course, Heat guys. And Jimmy's
of course, yeah.
Not Bam or Tyler, which is strange for multiple reasons, but, like, I don't remember let me look it up. All-Star. That is interesting. I think he maybe could get. Okay, so
Derrick Rose is actually number 9 in the most recent returns, despite playing a fraction of Brunson's minutes.
Here, let me share my screen.
Yeah, you got
Okay. So here, let me. Come on, load. I mean, I guess we can still see it from here.
Yeah.
But
obviously Andrew Wiggins again, he's up there in the – I don't know how Wiggins does it. I guess the Canadian fans are really voting for him.
I mean, yeah. I'm just trying to see what else. Like, there's like a massive gap between like Curry and Doncic to Morant.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
my goodness.
3 million votes.
Wow.
Like that, that's such a drastic. Like, why is Ja only getting 2 million if that's.
Wow. Look at Austin Reeves climbing up the board at number 8.
Yeah. He's been up there. Like the Lakers, I think the Lakers and Lakers fans, of course, since they're probably one of, if not the biggest fan base in the league, they do a good job of marketing Reeves, and he's become like a fan favorite. So that's not very surprising to me. Like that's where I go back to like Bam and I mean, I know I'm going to like Heat bias in this, but like Bam and Tyler aren't getting votes just because the fans, myself included, and the social media, they just don't market them enough. And it doesn't help that like for some reason there's a little disdain with like Hero, and like there's a sector of Heat fans that just don't like Tyler Hero or just don't really think he's all that good, which is kind of a weird thing. But then like Bam, like Heat fans, some Heat fans, or I'd say more so now, most Heat fans love Bam, but like the national radar of Bam just isn't as high or isn't as like pointed on him comparatively to like most other like Pascal. Like Pascal, I mean, that's not a knock on Siakam, but just comparatively, like Bam is like a really fucking good player.
Yeah. As soon as the bubble came through,
like the Heat just aren't. I don't think we do a good enough job of like marketing our own guys, and that's like a problem, not just with me, but like for all of us. So like reason like Nick Claxton getting more votes than Bam out of it, like that's insane. I don't want to say that's a knock on Claxton because Claxton's been really good this year for the Nets. He's been like one of their best defenders. He's kind of helped. He's kind of like flown under the rug of like a player who's been really like good for that. I can't remember like what stretch it was, but when they went like 16
in December, they were like 12-1 or something like that.
Yeah, before Durant went down, like Claxton's been really good. He was
the exact profile they need.
Game. Yeah, like, but the fact that he's getting more votes than like it's just insane to me. Like I'm sure there's other players who are left out on this list who shouldn't be left out, but I'm just using that one as an example.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Like I don't think you can name 5 centers in the NBA better than Bam Adebayo. Like what?
I don't know if you could like
you have Jokic and Embiid, and then like after Jokic and Embiid, like I think he's number 3 right now. Like just the impact he has on both ends. Like he's one of the best playmaking bigs around. Like he just does so much for that team on both ends of the floor.
Right, and like it's ridiculous what he does defensively on a night-to-night basis. Yeah. Like I don't think people like you look at the counting stats and it's like, okay, he's averaging like a steal and a block. Like it's not something that pops off the screen, but like it's everything else. It's how, like, if there's one player in the league who can switch, who says they can switch 1 to 5, who can actually switch 1 to 5, it's Bam Adebayo. Like, he covers that entire. I mean, Miami's 6th in defense right now, and their backcourt, Lowry and Hero, just aren't good defensively. Butler is obviously one of the best defenders in the league.
Perimeter guys around.
One of the better defenders in the league. But just like Bam does a ridiculous amount on the floor. Also, Lauri Markkanen 7th in voting. Just to get off, like I didn't realize that at first when I first looked at this.
I mean, Kevon Looney is 692,000 votes. Like, how does it happen? I guess the Warriors, like you said about the Lakers, the Warriors are a pretty well marketed team.
Yeah. Yeah, wait. Looney's 300,000 less than Draymond. That's surprising.
It's insane. Clay up there.
Draymond missed a lot of time. Am I mistaken?
I feel like he did. I need to look back, but I feel like there was a stretch where he wasn't there, and he was talking on his show and stuff a lot.
Yeah, I know Wiggins missed a bunch of time, but I don't.
Obviously, Steph has a sleeve now. He missed a bunch of time.
Yeah, I mean, I know this won't be like the end all be all, obviously, because I know there's like coaches and like the media who do their own like separate voting. I can't remember like the percentages of each. So maybe a guy like Brunson, again, he's not here on the list, but maybe a guy like Brunson or something like that, or like Garland or Halliburton or whatever get named all-stars. I mean, I feel like I see every night like players who are like, this guy needs to be named all-star. It's like, okay, there's only 12 spots for each guy.
Yeah.
So
can't get too carried away.
Well, that's like it's so hard. Like this in all NBA, it's so difficult each year just because of like the positional rules, like how they have the front court and the back court. Like at some point, the NBA probably just will shift positionless. But then again, like I don't know when they're going to, but it's just so hard every year to do this. Like when I look at this list right here, it's one of the hardest. Like, all right, you have I think it's one of Giannis, Durant, or Tatum will have to like start on the bench.
Yeah.
Like they won't
That's
start.
just insane.
They won't start in the All-Star game. And those are 3 guys who are probably in the top 7 or 8 in the MVP chase.
Yeah.
And they're not going to start in the All-Star game. Like that's how much crunch it is.
It's insane.
Anyways, what else has happened?
Yeah, look, I'm quickly run through the games that happened yesterday. Let's see. So Monday we had the Bucks taking out the Pistons. They dropped 150 on them. The Celtics lost to the Magic. Wow.
Again.
I know. I remember they lost in Boston and they were down in Orlando.
Yep.
Paulo Banchero drops 28 points. 7-13 from the field, 6 free throws. Wow. I mean, the Magic, I got to put some respect on the Magic. Obviously, they're not going to be doing anything this year, but I think they have a nice little team. Obviously, the Victor sweepstakes are very much in play for them, and that'll be a whole different conversation about where he ends up in a couple of months.
I mean, yeah, like I want to say I watched a little bit of the game yesterday. I wasn't able to watch the entire thing, but I watched a little bit of it. And I think it was like Orlando's won like heading into the game. It was like 12 of their last 21. Like they've been playing well. And of course, they won again last night. I mean, it's also funny because, like, I think it was, I don't know if it was like after the game or like during one of the 2 games that they had earlier in the year, like on like halftime or something. But like Eddie House was like talking mad shit. Like this team is still trash. Like the Celtics are the cream of the crop of the East. And then,
oh my gosh,
Eddie House was on the broadcast yesterday from Boston, and I mean, I think Boston made it close towards the end, but like they were getting smacked a little bit at the beginning.
Yeah,
they had like a second quarter run, but like, I mean, that was funny because it's like again when it's not like Scalabrini. I think it was like Grandy and House were like the 2.
Yeah, they were on the call
play-by-play in the color on the broadcast. Orlando's still
that is funny. Poetic justice.
Yeah. I mean, Boston's still probably the best team in the league. I think they had like a 9-game win streak that got snapped.
Yeah.
Their defense has looked good since Robs came back.
Yeah, 35-13. You know, they're well on the way to like a 60-win season. Like maybe not how it was last year, but still, just really rounding into form. What is it? Around the 50-game mark. And then the West is actually looking, Denver 33-14. Memphis not too far behind at 31-16. It's just, and then of course, you got to light the beam for the Sacramento Kings, 27-19. And then, I got to give Trey credit. He knew something we didn't about Kevin Huerter. He's really made a big difference for them.
I mean, he called him one of the most valuable players in the league.
Yeah. He had his apples in that bushel. I'll give him that.
He did. I think it was, I wrote something. I don't know if it was the offseason or if it was the deadline last year. And it was like a list of like, because Boston had at the time had like a big trade exception. I think it was around like 18-19 million. I can't remember like what exactly it was, but it was like one of the bigger trade exceptions in the league at the time. I think it was the biggest actually. But I remember I wrote something like, all right, here's like, I don't know, I probably had 7 or 8 candidates for like who Boston.
I remember that post.
Yeah, and I remember I was talking to Trey like while I was writing it. I was like, I don't think you're gonna like any of the names on this list, dude. Like just straight up, just knowing you, I just have a feeling that you're not gonna like any of these names. And so then I write it, gets published, and Trey, and at the time Trey was like, oh, like I've been looking for a while and like much of these names that were available, yada yada yada. But then like it gets published, he sends me like a text like 5-10 minutes later. He's like, dude, I hate every player on this list. And it didn't have Huerter. And like to his credit, at the time, he was like, Kevin Huerter, that's the guy that I want. Like Kevin Huerter's like that type of guy, and he's kind of just rode with that sense. And credit, yeah, Huerter's done a good job. I think he only had like 5 points yesterday. But nevertheless, he's been really good for him. But like,
yeah,
Domas and De'Aaron have been too.
He fits in that rotation really well, and Davion Mitchell. They got a lot of dogs on that team.
Like Lyles outscored, I think, the entire like Grizzlies team, yes, or like at least he had 24 off the bench, and I don't think a single Grizzlies player hit 24. I mean, they were without Ja, but the Grizzlies have had like the best defense in the league this year, and the fact that they got
They got lit up.
Waxed without jaw. I mean, that's a little surprising.
Yeah. I know. And I'm a big Mike Brown fan. I think he's doing a great job. Obviously, we kind of lost him when he was on the Warriors. People didn't really know he was just chilling on the bench with Steve Kerr. But I've ever since his days with LeBron in Cleveland, I've always been a believer in Mike Brown, and I'm really happy to see that he's thriving out in Sacramento for a team that's obviously we both know have had some pretty lean and mean years. For the past two decades. Since they were Abdul and Shaq and the Lakers in the conference finals way back when.
Yeah, I remember because I mean, living on the West Coast, I have a bunch of Kings fans friends.
Right.
And like one of my first roommate in college was like a big Kings fan. And this was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. And this was when Dave Yeager was their head coach. And I think they were like in the hunt for like the final like 8 or 9 seed in the East. I can't remember what year it was exactly.
Right.
He was like, this is the most fun I've had in years. And of course, the Kings doing King stuff, fire Dave Yeager. And we're just like, what? Like, why did that happen? But then like, I remember he sent me a text the other night. He's like, dude, like the Kings are like 3rd in the West. You're like, what's happening? I was like,
I know.
Listen, it must be, it's like you have to be walking on water right now. You're like on cloud like 17 if you're a Kings fan right now, even though they're still 3rd in the East. But still the regular season. But like, this isn't what the Kings usually do. The Kings are usually in like right now where the Lakers and Blazers are at.
Yeah.
Not where they're at right now. I mean, I don't think even like the most optimistic Kings fan, I don't think expected this just to begin the year. Honestly.
100%. And yeah, it just makes me think like I'm sure Kings fans would have at the very least been happy with progress, like just like baby steps, like even if they're like you just said, like if they're the 11th spot, like the Thunder, and they're like a game or two out, and they just make a push. I'm sure they'd love that, but it would take. I mean, obviously, look, we're still like around the 50 game mark. Anything is possible at this point in the season, but it would take a pretty considerable collapse for them to fall out of the last play-in spot at the very least.
Yeah, well, again, as I mentioned earlier, you look at that right there. It's a 5.5 game difference between the 3rd seed and the 12th and 13th. Like that's there. Yeah, that's a pretty slim margin for error.
That's true. Things could move pretty quickly for them if they have a cold stretch.
Right, and like I don't know what their schedule looks like, but
I can beat the Grizzlies, so they got Toronto up next.
Okay.
Here we go. All right. Toronto at home, and then 2 games on the road against Minnesota. The Spurs, which should be a win. The Pacers, who have actually been playing pretty well.
7-game road trip, dude.
Yeah. I mean, that's make it or break it. If they play 500 basketball or better, then they'll be looking a lot better. Houston, you got to beat the Pelicans. I think they'll lose to the Pelicans, obviously, and then you got 2 straight home games against the Mavericks. If you can split that, I think you'd be doing cartwheels. And then the Suns, Phoenix, LA. So a pretty, nothing like monumental. No, just a bunch of West Coast teams.
What is that? 11, like from January 15th to February 28th, from now until the end of February. That's 11 to 15 on the road. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, that's a couple of bad teams in there. So, there should be wins. That's just the bottom line. If I'm a Kings fan, you just got to win.
Yeah. I mean, like I always get nervous when I see these road trips because it's like, even if it's the Rockets at the end of the road trip, you get that mental fatigue of like, all right, we've been on the road for how long? We've been on the road for like 2 weeks. Like you'll see teams slip up and like towards the end of those road trips. Not every team. It's circumstantial. But that, Jesus, I didn't realize. I wonder if that's the longest road trip for any NBA team this year.
That's pretty, what is it, like?
That's 7.
Yeah, almost 2 weeks. And it makes me think, you just said, did you see that tweet from Bill Simmons about the Tatum, the showing up game or whatever?
No, I didn't.
It's like they were the Celtics were playing like the Charlotte Hornets in Charlotte. And Tatum drops like 51, whatever. And Bill Simmons goes on Twitter and he's like, that's how Tatum's a real MVP candidate. He showed up. other players would just take the day off, whatever. He showed up, just like complete like brainwash garbage, like typical Bill Simmons, It's just so funny to me. People were just clowning him after that, but I thought that was funny. I'll just go back to the.
Speaking of funny Simmons tweets, did you see what he said about? I think it was during the Niners. The Niners.
Oh, game. The Cowboys game.
Yeah, the Niners Cowboys, and he's like, "This game is making me feel so much better about Mac Jones." It's like, what? Like, what?
no one is saying a word about the Patriots, anything. He just has to be in there.
How is that your biggest takeaway? What? Not your biggest takeaway, but like, how is that a takeaway?
Yeah, how is that on the top of your mind at all? We just saw like the 49ers defense shut him down. We saw another collapse from the Cowboys at the end of the game. Like, but that's the first thing you. No, I got it. It just doesn't make sense.
Just it is. Funny. One of those weird, funny Simmons tweets, but
that is funny. And then,
what else has happened? All right, were you gonna add something else?
No, I mean, I'm trying to think. I mean, we've got a good stream going on. We could do or did they already do like predictions for the championship games yesterday? I feel like they might have.
I'm not sure. Let me look at.
I know that articles are coming out or have been posted already.
All right, hold up.
Oh yeah, did they get the timestamps on it?
They might do that for future ones. So sorry for us. Sorry for whoever's doing this because we're.
Oh yeah, Milo or yeah. But at least it won't be. It won't be as long as theirs. I don't think.
Let's talk about this Diggs thing really quick because I have some.
Oh, Steph. Yeah,
I don't have.
Here, let me. I'll get his Twitter up.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I have the article pulled up. You can get Twitter. It's probably better.
There you go. I'll zoom in.
So like, there's been this weird, like, I don't want to say opinion take whatever that like. I mean, this is. I should preface this by saying this is like Vikings bias. This is just you see the flag.
Oh yeah, that's fair. I understand, man.
So there's been this weird take over the years that like Diggs just hates Kirk Cousins. Now I don't know. I mean, there was some like sideline spats throughout like at least the last couple of years when he was in Minnesota. But this was like eerily similar.
I know.
This. Like him addressing it in this way makes me believe that he doesn't like. It's been I haven't been under the take that it's been like debunked that he just doesn't hate Cousins. I don't know where that got started, but like considering it is Kirk Cousins, he's an easy target for a lot of just weird hate. Whether weird,
of course,
not weird, whatever. But like he just did this to Josh Allen in a playoff game, and I don't. I mean, it has been like people are talking about it, but I don't see it. I don't see it being talked about in the same light. And I guess that's probably just me not seeing enough of it. I have no idea. But like, is Diggs just going to request a trade now? Is he going to do this?
I know, and he's got the huge contract.
Like I'll make joke. I think I made like a joke about that when I saw it. I wasn't able to watch it live because I was on the road on Sunday. But like I saw it after the fact that Diggs, of course, yeah, we all saw that like the Diggs Allen confrontation, not a confrontation, but like Diggs getting mad at Allen on the sideline towards the end of the game. And like that's not. I've always been under the impression that's not really a big deal because I mean competitors get heated in heated moments.
Of course,
because I mean you're in the heat of the moment, man. Like you're losing, you're not getting the ball. Well, like whatever. Like competitors will get mad. Like that's just the nature of sports. We've seen it plenty of times. Like it's not. I mean, there's levels to it, obviously. Like if you see like punches being thrown or whatnot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a bit of a different story.
But like just a normal spat on the sideline, I don't really think it's that big of a deal. So I didn't make much of it. But then again, it's like he did the same thing to Cousins. And people just think he hates Kirk Cousins when I think Diggs has even come out and said he's like, no, I've never had a problem with like Cousins like ever in my career. And And of course, right here it says it's easy to criticize my reaction more than the result. That makes me believe he's not. Yeah. He doesn't hate anyone. He's just upset in the heat of the moment. Like,
yeah, and I
don't even know if all of that makes sense what I just said, but like that's just where I'm coming from.
No, I completely understand. And my whole thing is, if in the event that he does request a trade, I think he just needs to know that the grass isn't always greener. Like,
right.
Look, I'm not trying to make excuses for the Bills. I'm a Giants fan, so I'm a little indifferent to Buffalo. But I think if it was not snowing the way it was, I think Josh Allen would make the throws that he usually makes. I think we saw a lot of misplaced passes from Josh Allen yesterday on Sunday. And again, I don't want to like make excuses, but like also in terms of talent, like where could Stefon Diggs go where he's going to be catching passes from a more talented quarterback than Josh Allen? Like, it's not like the Chiefs are going to go and trade for him. The Bengals aren't going to go and trade for him. And then, like, I think that game I can totally reason with Joe Burrow surpassing Josh Allen on the hierarchy of quarterbacks. Just in pressure situations, Joe Burrow just doesn't seem to be fazed by it at all, which is a pretty damn cool feat, ability to have, whatever you want to call it,
Right. No, do you think – I saw this being floated around a little bit. Do you think Burrow surpassed Allen? Like, if you were to do like quarterback – if you were to do like a quarterback tier, quarterback rankings, like would you put Burrow ahead of Allen? I don't know.
It's tough because I also as much as Trey hates guys like Lamar Jackson, I think having that leg ability is so important these days as a quarterback. And I think, Josh Allen clears Burrow easily in terms of his mobility and ability to escape the pocket. But, I also take into account the playoffs a lot. And in Joe Burrow's, it's kind of like LeBron in 2007. In Joe Burrow's first real season, he gets back from his ACL tear. He gets his guy, Jamar Chase, and he just takes the damn Super Bowl. Like, they just wipe out the AFC. Like, I don't think that means nothing. And obviously, you can – it's hard because the playoffs are a once in a year thing and the regular season is so much more common. And I feel like it's hard for people to put the playoffs above the regular season just because they're so used to the regular season. But I think just based on what we've seen in the playoffs, I would put Burrow above Allen. But it's tough. It's it's like a 2A and 2B thing behind Mahomes.
Right. Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. I don't know. I mean, if you and I both weight I weight the playoffs a decent amount. I mean, it's the Yankee fan in us.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, exactly. Like it means something.
I mean, I guess I don't know if it's circumstantial for each player, but like, bro, you're right. Bro just doesn't look phased. It's just,
I don't know how he does it. I think
it's this like he has a lot of like FU in him. Like he does,
and
he has a lot of quiet confidence, and like he's a lot of poise. He's not rattled by anything. Like it's something that I actually like really like about him because I mean, he's stepped up in moments where he's needed to step up for the most part. I mean, I'm sure the last couple of drives of the Super Bowl, maybe not, but like regardless, entire sample, he's been really, really good. And like, there's certainly an argument to be made. I mean, I would have Mahomes 1, probably Allen 2, and Burrow 3. If, like given all fully healthy.
That's how I've had it all season up until their game. That was my ranking. But now it's just just little things to think about, but it's just exactly what you said. Like I think we don't know what's happening with Tom Brady, but I think just in terms of mentality alone, I feel like Joe Burrow could be incredibly close to that. Just go out there, do your job. You don't have to go talking about it, just do it. And up until this point, he's done it. And I'll be very interested to see how this AFC Championship game goes if Mahomes can recover from that ankle injury. Back-to-back Super Bowl trips from, the Bengals started like 0-2, 0-3, and now, they're not too far away from a second consecutive Super Bowl trip.
Yeah, like, I don't know. So, like, this was interesting. Like, he has the high ankle sprain.
Yep.
That's tricky for a lot of athletes.
That's
especially when you're a quarterback and you're planting, but like also like you'll be heavily medicated during the game. So I don't know.
Yeah, they're gonna be doing every.
I don't know if it's gonna affect him all that much. Like he came back in the game, like he did all right, but I don't know.
He did enough to win, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how much it's gonna like. You get that game was on Saturday, or you get more than a week's worth of rest ahead of Sunday's game. Like, that's tricky. Like, high ankle sprains are tricky. It's not like it was like a sprain or a bruise. Like, I mean, well, it is a sprain, high ankle sprain, but like,
yeah, but it hurts.
It's like I almost feel like when I see athletes suffer like high ankle sprains, it's like they're out for not just 1 week, but multiple weeks. But again, this is football. They're gonna heavily medicate you. This is Patrick Mahomes. He's probably gonna try to play anyways. Like, I don't know. I'm interested to see how he looks. I don't know. I can't remember what the betting line was for the game, but I think it was like close to odds. Yeah.
I feel like now I read what's it called? I was watching First Take today, and I think they moved the line to Cincy is now 2-point favorites. Which, I mean, I guess based on the evidence, it's like we just said about Burrow, like, you know, it's not a bad bet. It's just who he is. He's shown us since college that he just elevates his game when it matters the most somehow.
Right. Yeah. Also, like, I think Burrow's like 2-0 in Arrowhead.
Yeah. Last year, obviously, we remember that playoff game last year, and it's a pretty remarkable thing because, you know, in terms of ability, obviously, you know, during COVID, we knew he was going to be the number 1 pick, and he was obviously a talented guy, but I feel like it's more just an indictment on his mentality than his talent, just like to keep yourself in that zone.
And he's incredibly talented too.
Yeah, I mean, he's also, you know, one of the best throwers of the ball like you could find. And, you know, it's what people keep saying. I feel like anywhere besides Cincinnati, I feel like T. Higgins would be a number 1 receiver. Obviously, I think you got to also think about the guy throwing the ball to those receivers. You know, I think it's a two-way street.
Yeah. No, Trey's guy, Hayden Hurst.
No. Hayden Hurst, I know, and Money Joe Mixon, like they got him some weapons.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Mixon, P. Ryan. They have like few, like Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, Tyler, like I think the best number 3 receiver in football. Like
one of them. Yeah, one of them for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it'll just be. It's pretty, and this is all without Lyle Collins, who was supposed to be his bodyguard, like protecting him, and you know he was put on the IR, and you know they just find a way, which is pretty remarkable.
And I think aren't they also without Jonah Williams?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I think he got hurt. Maybe it was the Baltimore game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, heading into the game, it's like, all right, how is this Bengals offensive line going to play? And just from what I saw, it looked like it held up pretty well.
Even better than last year.
Mixon had over 100 rushing yards. Burrow looked like he was comfortable in the pocket just from everything that I saw throughout most of the day. Like it looked fairly good against a pretty good Bills pass rush too. It's not like it's not nothing. So, I mean, yeah, credit to really the Bengals offensive line. Let's see how that holds up against the Chiefs. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, that's true. Chris Jones'
defense is better than the Chiefs, but who knows? Who the heck knows?
I know.
Yeah, no, that's probably. I don't know if that's the most. Do you think that's more interesting than the San Francisco?
I think.
I mean, that's a hell of a slate, dude. Like that's.
I mean, we are going to be certainly blessed with some great football this weekend, but I know it's really tough to say because I'm of the mindset personally, if the Eagles, if they win this game, they're going to win the Super Bowl. I think when they're in the Super Bowl, they're going to win it. But also, I just think the 49ers are so impressive, and I think they're turning up at exactly the right time that they could just take them right out. It just, you know, I'm really split on that game too.
Yeah, I have no idea who's going to win that game.
It's
I
tough.
have no idea.
But it also, like, it just comes down to Brock Purdy. Like, is the magic dust, you know, is it out? Is he out of magic? Like,
he's looked really, like, I know he probably didn't look as good against Dallas as he did against, like, the rest of the
against Seattle and everyone.
He's faced some, like, not so great defenses, but he's also like had a couple of like decent defenses like mixed into there. But like he hasn't looked that phased. I mean, yeah, the first half against San Francisco, or not first half against Seattle in the first round, like wasn't the best, but it still wasn't like terrible. And then there was some shaky moments in the first half against Dallas, but I mean, San Francisco finally got the run game going and opened things up a little bit. And I mean, yeah, Kittle made that catch where he caught it like 7 different times. Like it was still like it wasn't bad. Like he wasn't careless with the football. Like it just
he did what
he wasn't bad against a really good Dallas defense. Dallas is one of the best defenses in the league. And so it's like Philly's another one of those teams where they have like a good defense. They have a good secondary. Like it's gonna be an interesting matchup. But I also think it comes down to Jalen Hurts. Like
it does. Obviously, we saw him tear up the Giants, but can he do it against, I saw that tweet about, 49ers are just blessed. They go from, Patrick Willis and what's his name? Navarro Davis at inside linebacker. Navarro Bowman to what's his name? Fred Warner and Greenlaw. Like, I think that's just such an underrated part of their team. Is just they can just kill you on all 3 levels of the defense, which is just so impressive.
And like Travarius Ward, Hufanga, Nick Bosa, like they got dudes on that defense
all over the place,
and they fly around. Like they are going sideline.
It's like that play with Warner. Like he was literally, I think it was Sauce Gardner said he's a linebacker. He's a defensive back playing linebacker. And he's built like Superman. Like
that's their speed is going to be interesting because I don't again Jalen with his health. I don't know. I mean, he again looked all right against the Giants. In both of those 2 games that he played against the Giants, but like he might have to in times where he's got to move out of the pocket. Like how much yardage is he gonna get? Like how effective will he be with his legs? I mean,
and his shoulder, is it totally right?
I mean, it's gonna be. I'm sure they're gonna try to take away AJ Brown. I mean, he's gonna have Goddard,
Devontae Smith.
Like how are these weapons gonna be used that he has, and like especially his legs? Like that's what I'm like most intrigued by because I mean. No disrespect to the Giants, but the Niners are a far better defense than the Giants.
Believe me, I'm a Giants fan.
The Niners are a far better defense than most teams in the league, which
they're top 5, top 3.
Yeah, well, I think the Niners have the best defense in the league, but
I think
regardless, it's still going to be it's going to be an ultimate chess match, and Philly's been really good at home this year. Like I think we can't counter that out. I mean, it's going to be loud. Philly fans are going to be Philly fans. Like it's going to be. I wonder how the Niners play in this type of environment. I genuinely don't know who's going to win this game. I think the Niners are 2.5-point underdogs. The last time I looked at them, I think that was yesterday. I think that line could have moved a little bit. I don't know. But like,
it's going to just two great games. I think, when we were kids, just those games that just stick with you for your whole life. I feel like we could be in for 1 or 2 of those this weekend. Like,
oh, we got some news.
Really?
Well, looks like Durant is going to be out a couple more weeks.
Couple more weeks.
I mean, I don't know if that was necessarily unexpected, but he'll be.
I know. Oh, yeah, they said he'd be evaluated. Wow. Well, I mean,
he's progressing well apparently, but
I know. I mean, if Kyrie can drop like 48, 7 and 9 like he did against the Jazz, or cooking up Steph Curry and the Warriors every night, then maybe they'll be okay. But, Kevin Durant is the conductor of that train. So
they haven't been that good since he's been down. And also, in smaller baseball news, I know we really haven't touched on it yet, but
here, I'll stop sharing.
The Boston Red Sox are acquiring shortstop Adalberto Mondesi from the Royals.
Really?
For left-handed reliever Josh Taylor and a player to be named later.
I guess
half hour ago.
That's the Xander Bogaerts replacement, I guess. Trey we better hide under our tables and beds when we see if Trey knows what Chaim Bloom is up to.
I want to see if has Trey said anything in the Slack about it.
I don't think so.
To get our Slack news.
Yeah.
I don't know. He hasn't said
nothing really. Some posts.
And he's all like Mondesi's also been like relatively injury prone, so he hasn't stayed on the field a whole lot. I mean, I don't think he's been terrible. I don't think he was that good last year, but
he's got some big shoes to fill.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know if he'll be starting? Heck, probably. I mean,
yeah. I mean, if Trevor Story's still out, then I feel like he's gotta.
Jeez.
But yeah. I mean, obviously, crazy to think that baseball's almost around the corner, and I know we're going to be doing that fantasy league pretty soon. But again, it's very interesting that it's almost baseball time. It just feels like yesterday that we watched the Astros and the Phillies duke it out.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Astros and Yankees. I was like, I
know. I mean, it was not. Yeah,
I want to forget every part of that series.
I know. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it was tough. And
I
am cautiously optimistic about the Yankees. And
where do you stand with the Rodon trade?
I like the guy. I mean, I know there are the injury concerns, and he has rounded into form. He's turned into an elite pitcher only very recently, within the last 2 years, which I don't love giving, $160 million. But the bottom line is the Yankees, they either give up fewer runs in the other team, or you score more runs in the other team. And I see that Brian Cashman thinks that they can do the latter. And I don't know. I like the guy. I'm always a proponent for having a strong rotation, but that is, granted he's able to stay healthy and take at least, 30 starts or whatever, whatever number that they may have in their head for him for year one.
All right, here's Mondesi's baseball reference page. So he played 15 games in 2022. 35 games in 2021. He played 59 of the COVID-shortened 2020 season, so he played most of that season. 102 in 2019. He still had 10 triples. Holy cow.
291 average. 294 is not that bad. But obviously 204 in 2022.
That's on base percentage.
Oh, excuse me. 140. Oh, my gosh. I was being nice to the guy. Oh, wait. Oh, my gosh. So it's, pretty mediocre, I guess. 162 game average, 9.
He's always had the speed to steal bags, and maybe that could be used as maybe there's times where he's a pinch runner. Whatever it is. But it's just from the look of it, he's played 50 combined games the last 2 seasons. I mean, again, you're only getting Josh Taylor. I don't think was that good either.
Yeah,
but I don't know. His last really full season, which wasn't even a full season, was the 2020 season. Still 24 bags. He had a 90 OPS plus. And then the season before that, he played roughly 2/3 of the season. I think that's 2/3, but he played 102 games.
Yeah.
The league in triples. 10 triples in 102 games in 443 plate appearances. That feels that's wild.
Yeah, that is wild. Once every 10 games, you can see this guy steal a base. Or what's it called? No, a triple. Excuse me. It's
right. No,
that's wild.
You don't see 10 triples nowadays. I mean, yeah, he's always had the speed, but I don't know.
In 102,
I'm guessing he's the starting shortstop.
I think he's got to be until at least Story comes back.
Who else?
And then you have Justin Turner. He's going to be playing first base now. There's no way in hell he plays shortstop. He's way too old and not mobile enough for that.
Yeah, he's not. He might even be their DH. I don't.
Yeah.
KD replacement. Is Kike going to play second? I don't.
I know.
Pull up the roster right now. Okay, let's. That's interesting. I mean, again, it's a small move, so there's probably not a whole lot to prognosticate, but just
and then I also think how does Tristan Casas fit in the equation? Is this where his first real big league season? Is he going to be a DH? Is he going to go to first? It'll be interesting.
Let's see. All right, hold on. I'm trying to pull up their depth chart right now.
Okay.
It's taking me 7 years to do it.
No worries. We're we're still only at an hour and 4. We're actually getting kind of close to the previous broadcast.
I love how we just haven't talked anything about like we hardly even touched on the Slack yesterday.
I know. they kind of covered the bases for us in the Slack department.
Again, we apologize, Milo, for this.
Yeah, he's got it. I believe in you, Milo.
Alrighty. There. So right now, this is against right-handed hitters. For some, I don't know why it's like that. But
wow.
Let me nice. A little bit. So right now, okay, so they got him penciled in as starting a shortstop. They got Kike as second, Devers at third, Casas at first. Turner's DH.
Interesting.
And then off the bench, I mean, yeah, I think maybe in theory, I don't know how much run he's gotten there, but like Arroyo could maybe play a little short. I don't know. Maybe there's some.
There's some possibility.
Let's see. I want to say they have like I want to say there's guys that are in the farm that could be like David Hamilton, maybe Valdez, maybe. Goodrum on a non-roster invite. Didn't even know that happened. Probably because it was a non-roster invite. Just looking here. So yeah, I guess right now Mondesi is that guy. Like I don't know if that's like what does he have any years left on his deal? I don't think this says that. Is he still on Arbor? Is he still or towards the end?
I'll look on Baseball Reference also.
Because if he's in the last couple years of arbitration or whatnot, they're probably not going to have to pay him a whole lot, and they're probably in a situation where they're not going to be competing, and so are they going to try to flip Mondesi at the deadline? I don't know how much of a market there is for him. I mean, obviously they just traded for him, so maybe there's something, but
yeah, I mean, right now it says 1 year, $3.05 million. So I guess maybe they had arbitration or something. But he's going to be a free agent after this upcoming season. Okay.
So maybe it's just a cheap deal. I mean,
just a stopgap, kind of like with the Yankees and IKF, maybe.
Yeah, because again, the Yankees and the Red Sox at the time were in two kind of dissimilar situations.
Yeah.
Or two similar situations, excuse me.
Needing a shortstop.
Yeah, I
don't know.
Again,
I gotta ask.
Potential there was speed. I mean, he's from what I can remember, Mondesi's not a bad defender. I mean, they addressed the bullpen in the offseason, signing Jansen.
Yeah, they did.
They got Joey Rodriguez. They signed Chris Martin from Milo's Dodgers. And so I guess he was kind of the odd man out. And I mean, but then again, you look at this just specific depth chart, Joey is their only left-handed arm. I mean, I don't know how much I would feel about that. I mean, Taylor was their only other guy. Again, I don't think Taylor has been that great.
He's nothing. Serviceable, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I forgot they have Paxton.
That's right. Oh my gosh, former Yankee James Paxton in the house.
The Big Maple.
I remember that trade. I was in high school or something. I was so excited. I thought he was the real deal. But dude, I gotta ask, what are your thoughts on Volpe? I keep hearing Yankees fans. There's a lot of different fans who have a lot of different feet and a lot of different puddles about Volpe, and I don't know if the right trade comes around, would you trade him or Dominguez, or I'm just hearing out all the different perspectives on this right now.
I don't know if I would trade Dominguez. I I think I was talking, I can't remember when, but I was talking to Trey about this because we were talking about Brian Reynolds. And I think he like floated the name like, oh yeah, like the Yankees are going to screw up and trade for Brian Reynolds. They're going to trade like all their top guys. And I'm like, one, the Pirates aren't that smart. They're not going to get a haul for, they're not going to get a haul regardless of where they trade him to for, like, they're just not, they're not the best run organization. So that's not going to happen, but there's no way I would trade. I'm not gonna say there's no way, but I don't think I would trade Dominguez for Reynolds.
No way. I agree.
I don't know if
I would do it. You need to have a premium player to give him up, I think.
Yeah, but that's what the Pirates want, but I don't think they're gonna get it. So he might not get traded. Who knows? But
I think
Volpe, I think I'm in on Volpe. Like
obviously Cashman is, he's got all his eggs in this basket, and I think, he better know something we don't if he's not going to be giving either of them up to help the team now. So hopefully they break through.
Like Oswaldo last year,
Estevan Florial,
like
also.
Cabrera last year could play like every other position. Peraza was pretty good, or not pretty good, but like he's another intriguing guy. So it's like I would flip one of Peraza or Volpe if the right deal came along, but.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind like in the future, like moving Volpe to second and kind of experimenting.
I feel that.
I don't know what Volpe's numbers were last year. Like I just can't remember. I know he's pretty close. I think he reached AA, or he was in AAA. Excuse me. So he had an 820 OPS in Somerset. Oh, why does this keep resetting? He had an 820 OPS in Somerset, 802 combined. Like I think there's potential there. I've heard his glove is pretty good. I
heard the speed's pretty good, right?
Right now I'm thinking like I don't know if the Yankees what?
The speed, he's got some pretty good speed also, right? For Volpe, he's got good speed.
Yeah, he does have good speed. Yeah. Yeah, like I don't know. Like that's what was interesting heading into the offseason because I didn't know if the Yankees were like thinking about moving like Glaber, like if they could somehow flip Glaber because his trade value is probably it's a lot higher than it was last year.
Oh, 100%.
It's still not incredibly high, but like I don't know if they're going to do that if Volpe is still going to start the year in AA or AAA, excuse me.
Right.
Maybe there's something that he found because it's like he's only played 22 games in AAA, 99 plate appearances. That's not a lot under your belt. So maybe he's like, maybe there's a time in like August or September where they decide to call him up.
Maybe some injuries or something.
Yeah. Like, fuck, who the hell knows with this team?
The annual Stanton injury, obviously, that always has to happen.
Because it's like
after the All-Star game.
Like LeMahieu's hurt. He's probably going to be out, I think, like the first like month or two of the season. I think I saw somewhere it was like the first like 6 weeks.
Oh, my gosh. I don't know how much longer I could watch Josh Donaldson play baseball for the Yankees.
Right there with you. I love the glove. That's the thing. If there's a position called designated fielder, I would have.
He makes his money. He makes his money on the hot corner. I got to give him that.
Yeah, but him at the plate last year was rough.
Abysmal.
But yeah, I don't.
And then I read somewhere, I don't know if it was Cashman or Boone who said it, that Aaron Hicks is probably going to be the starting left fielder. And that's just music to my ears, as you know. Like,
oh man, yeah, I don't. Ugh.
My whole thing, and this is my whole conspiracy theory, is that they just got to find a way to bring Ohtani over. If he's going to be a free agent, whatever it is, I think he's just a guy. Stanton's getting up there in age. You're going to need a new DH pretty soon with Stanton. Or you can't rely on him as it is. And I just feel like they got to find a way to swing Ohtani over here. You just kill two birds with one stone. You get the best rotation in the game. I'd give with Ohtani, Cole, Nestor.
I think there's an argument right now that they could be the best.
I agree. As soon as that signing was made, and in my head, I was like, if Frankie Montas is your number 5 starter, you take all the pressure off of him, that they had on him at the deadline, and he just go out there and just do the best he can. I think, if he's half the pitcher he was in Oakland as compared to 5% the pitcher he was with the Yankees, I think they'll have a very good rotation, which I think we all want to see.
Yeah, and Montas is also hurt, which
of course
kind of sucks, but like I don't know if it was recovered, but I think he still has the shoulder issue. But yeah, anyway, those were my exact thoughts after that trade. Was like Cole and Rodon, you're 1 and 2.
It's pretty
plus
filthy.
You got a Stevie who, by the way, was pretty damn good the second half of last season.
He's a big game player. He has always been, ever since he had that terrible wild card game back in like 2017 when Judge was a rookie. He just really could not handle it against the Twins. He's just been a big game player ever since.
And he's the thing that sucks with Stevie is like the injuries.
I know.
He
was a Cy Young candidate. I remember that year. He was, when he's healthy and he puts it all together, he's still a very damn good pitcher.
Yeah, and he's your 4.
Like even Nestor Cortez is an all-star and he's a number 3. Like
right. Like there's I don't know if I'd have to think about it more. I have to go through like the different rotations, but like I think there's a case.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like the Mets are just such a boomer bust team. Like Verlander and Scherzer, like obviously, the resumes speak for themselves, but how much longer can they, have another big league season, pitch a severe amount of innings, like, all the strikeouts, all this and that, like, their arms are going to break down at some point. But maybe, I don't like to be a pessimist, but this wild card could have been the beginning of the end of Scherzer against the Padres. Like,
I mean, it's a Mets thing.
Yeah,
like I don't want to be.
I got family on the Yankees and the Mets side, so I hear it all. It is certainly a Mets thing.
Mets are like they can never get over the top.
I think, and it's kind of what everyone was saying about Correa. I think you could really kick those down to the bed. I think if they got Correa, and but also it just ups the ante even more. I think it's a blessing in disguise that they didn't get Correa.
I think
with the injuries and everything, obviously, I think he'll do. Maybe. I think he'll do great in mini. I think he fits in with what they're doing really well. But we know what Steve Cohen's all about, and I think all free agents next year beware, because I think he's going to be on the hunt.
How wild is it though that like the Mets still use the same doctor for the physical for Correa as the Giants did? Like,
how does that opinion that is?
Like, why would you do that? I mean,
what are you expecting? Yeah, it's just ridiculous. It's like you said, it's a Mets thing.
Like, what? How does that make sense? Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess from like at least like from a doc, like you trust doctors obviously, but like get different. Like,
get a second opinion.
Negative about the other, and you sign this guy to a $300+ million deal, 350, whatever it was. I don't think I'd use the same doctor. I think I would try to get a different list. That's just my
I'm right there with you, Matt. It's just crazy. But I mean, now we're actually $1.18. We're catching up to them.
I got at least one more thing.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, I'm sharing my screen. This is our for internet portion of the day.
Yes, that's right. News. I completely forgot about the. Yeah. Let me see. I'll scroll through Twitter and see if anything good pops up.
This is something that came across my desk this morning, and I want to get your thoughts on it. There's something that like popped on my timeline, but I want to see.
Oh, here, let me see. A mystery team has offered 3 first-round picks for OG. Wow. Now look, I like OG Anunoby. I think he's the epitome of what a good wing player is in the NBA today. Good size. I know he's somehow showed up in like the defensive player of the year conversation, which I think is taking it a little too far. He's still young. What is he, like 25, 26? Like,
I think
yeah. I think small forward is a really important position. I would say it's the second most important position behind your guard in the NBA today. You got to have a great wing player who can do it all on both ends. And I personally, I'd give up 2 first-round picks and a replacement player. I don't think I'd give up 3 years. That's a bit too much of a gamble for me, but I don't know.
My first reaction when I saw this was, okay, if I don't know what teams have 3 first-round picks. The Lakers? No, I'm just kidding.
The Knicks.
What exact teams have 3 first-round picks? But like, if a mystery team offered 3 first-round picks, my first reaction is like, all right, why didn't Toronto accept it already? But then it comes to the case. It's like, okay, what if the Raptors are leaking something like this? Like, are they trying to up the value for him? Like, I've become more and more skeptical of this report the more that I look at it, the more I think about it. Because
I was just thinking, I was trying to connect the dots. Could that mystery team be the Utah Jazz?
I don't think so. I mean, they have the picks, so
I know that's what I don't know why in the world the Thunder would burn 3 first. Obviously, they got monopoly money's worth of first-round picks right now, but still, like.
And something else that's like ambiguous when it comes to this. Are those like protected picks? Are these teams offering like lottery protected picks? Are they offering top 8 protected picks? Like what are the protections on these picks? And is that maybe why the Raptors aren't accepting, or maybe it's just this is completely fake speculation bullcrap?
Yeah, they're just trying to. Yeah, and if I'm OG Anunoby, I think regardless of what the true answer is, I'm not happy that this is out. I think he's just focused on playing his game. I think he's happy in Toronto for the most part. But I don't know. We don't know all the answers.
I mean, Toronto's a team right now to where like I know Haynes came out with something this morning that there's more so interest around Fred VanVleet. Like the Raptors are a team right now that they might sell.
And they might get a whole lot of assets for it, I think.
Right. And like I don't think OG is their most valuable asset. If you were probably to ask me, I'd probably say Siakam is, but
I'd say Siakam or Scottie
OG
Barnes.
is right up there, and so I wouldn't be surprised if a team offered 3 first-round picks. But like, one, is that the only thing they're offering? Because again, we have no idea if it's like 3 first-round picks and role player X or a couple role player. Like, what exactly? Because I mean, you're gonna have to make the money match for this stuff, especially. Yeah,
he's still on. Yeah, he's on a rookie contract.
Yeah. So I guess it's cheaper from that perspective, but like, are these teams offering more than just 3 first-round picks?
Yeah.
Which teams are offering this?
Yeah, like, I mean, you can scratch all. Yeah. Knowing the Knicks,
is it the Knicks?
For every good decision they make, like signing Jalen Brunson is a great decision. I don't care what picks you lose for tampering. There's an equally bad decision. Like, it's like blowing your stash of picks or whatever, because that's one thing I will give Leon Rose credit for is like the star. Like I guess the closest they've gotten is Donovan Mitchell last summer. They have built up a treasure chest of picks and young players. Like they have done it the right way. I think we've seen the Lakers had that Anthony Davis package. The Clippers had they have that type of package where if the right player is available, they could pull the trigger and have a reasonable offer, but that would be, kind of stripping the team down to the bare bones. But still, I digress.
Right. Is it I don't know, just the team that come to mind? Like, I don't know if they have 3 first-round picks. They might, but like, are the Suns offering 3 first-round picks? I don't think the Clippers have 3 first-round picks, right? They gave them all.
No, they're still in the hole from the Paul George trade, I think.
Yeah, like
maybe the Rockets from like the James Harden trade on it, but why would they go for OG Anunoby?
Exactly. Well, yeah, right. Well, that would make sense. But like, I'm trying to think of like what contenders like are the Bucks offering 3 first?
I was about to say like what's their pick situation looking like? It's weird.
I don't know, but like I'm a little bit like
I know I'm on the fence about it.
The conspiracy part of my brain is like, this is not real. Like, there's some level of falsity to this.
Yeah, there's something's fishy.
Trying to play the leverage game, man. That's what trades are all about.
It's like you said, the NBA is a business. People are trying to maximize the value.
All right.
Crazy,
but anything else? Let's see if
I think I'm good. I think this was a really good daily show. I don't know who's coming on tomorrow, but I'll definitely, whenever James or whoever's in charge needs me, I'll be happy to come back on. If it's Tuesdays like this, I got nothing really going on Tuesdays.
Yeah. No. Oh, hold on. Something else happened.
Oh yeah. I'll run through Twitter one more time. Oh, Trey drops the. Did the Red Sox just steal Adalberto Mondesi post?
Oh, did he?
Let me see what kind of quotes. Did the Red Sox somehow find their shortstop of the future? Maybe more so stopgap until young phenom Marcelo Mayer is ready. The Red Sox had no clear option.
I didn't even think about. I had completely forgot about Mayer. Yeah. Bill O'Brien.
Oh, yeah, back to New England. Yeah, we can touch on that. Yeah, back in New England.
Better than Matt Patricia, better than Joe Judge.
Yeah, better than Joe Judge. But it's Bill
Giants
O'Brien,
legend Joe Judge.
Yeah, Giants legend. I think you know what. As much as it pains me to say it, Trey's right. The foundation of a 4-win team is still there. Joe Judge's fingerprints and Dave Gettleman's fingerprints are still all over that team. But hey,
yeah,
it is what it is. It takes a few
years to rebuild this stuff, man.
Yeah,
NFL's like that.
Yeah, definitely cycles of all of it.
From my perspective, when I watch Minnesota, it's like, yeah, they still have guys like, not saying they're bad, but like they're over the hill, like Kendricks and Harrison Smith. Like these are all Spielman guys. I mean, Places will get his guys.
Yeah, I know. I want to. I'll close. My final question is this: Is Patrick Peterson washed up? Is he cooked?
There's an argument.
There's an
argument.
That's what I just keep seeing on Twitter.
For him, he came up with like the most timely interceptions, but that also came after him
getting burned in coverage.
Getting burnt, or there was a miscommunication in the coverage, or whatever it was. That secondary in general just wasn't good.
Yeah, I think with the right strategy in the draft, I think you'll definitely find some right guys to fit in there and find those puzzle pieces.
They only have 4 picks. Plus, they also have like a compensatory pick, but that hasn't been
okay
yet. But so in total, I guess technically they have 5, but like they only got 5 picks.
Cornerback, I'm sure is up there, and I'm sure receiver's pretty good. I'm personally a fan of KJ Osborne. I think he's going to continue really doing great things for that team. Obviously, you don't have to say anything about Justin Jefferson. He kind of speaks for himself. TJ
Hockenson, number 1.
He's a real deal.
Yes, Trey. If you're watching this, wide receiver 1.
We'll see if any posts come out in the fall out of the Daily Show. But is Hockenson a free agent?
No, I think
all right. So you got him for at least another year or 2.
I think 1 more year on this deal, but I think they're probably going to try to extend him.
Of course.
I don't obviously have any inside information, but if I were to guess, I think they were trying to extend him.
Of course. No, I wouldn't see why not. He fit in really well there.
He played really well. Really well, and I know Trey's not the biggest fan of him.
I know him and Chickser have had some bloodbaths over Hockenson over the past few months. I remember.
He was really good. Next year, he might be like tight end 2, tight end 3 for fantasy. He was really good, and he got a lot of targets, especially those last few games when they were nailing it. Like he was.
I know. I remember against the Giants, he was doing some damage when they were trying to just keep Jefferson, quiet. He was their number 1. I know, but let's not talk about that.
You could talk about. I don't want to.
I know. I'm a Giants fan, so I can. But I feel bad. It's just I think it's an indictment on Kirk Cousins more than anything. Just it's like I don't listen to Colin Cowherd much in Fox Sports, but they said I guess he really wanted his stats to look better, just to say he had the completed pass. I don't really know. I'm not gonna know. But
he had KJ open. He had Thielen open on the left side. I mean, the pass rush didn't help. I mean, Dexter, I think it was Bradbury. He just demolished him. So the pocket was tight to begin with, but Kirk played a great game.
He did. He didn't make any dangerous mistakes. No picks. I know that's just that's probably the biggest mistake he made was just picking the check out or check down.
Yeah, I said it in the saddest reaction video I could probably ever make. He played great, but that's not the most Kirk Cousins way to end the season. I don't know what it is. And I like Kirk. I mean, I've been critical of Kirk multiple times, rightfully so at times too. But like, to his credit, he played really damn good.
I know he kept them in the game, and it was what you said. The defense, like, as a Giants fan, I love Daniel Jones. I'm happy. He's not a franchise quarterback. I think everyone who watches football should know that he's not. I said in a post after the game, he's a top half quarterback, a top 16 quarterback at best. Right. But the secondary, whatever you want to call it, I don't know how he put together a game like that, and I'll never know.
Yeah, Daniel was really good too.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
I know.
I don't want to think about that game anymore.
I know. I think that's for me at least. I mean, if you have anything else, I'm happy to go over. But that's all I've got on my table for the Daily Show.
I don't think the Red Sox stole Adalberto.
Yeah. A little PSA to Trey Daubert.
Trey, if you're watching this, Yankees better. No.
IKF better.
IKF better.
IKF better.
No.
Exactly. He can talk all the shit he wants, but the IKF game will be in his memory forever.
Yep. The fact that we're praising IKF on that we're down.
I know. I was not and we officially have a longer broadcast than they did yesterday.
Wow.
We're in the multiverse.
We're like, what are we going to talk about? We have no idea.
We thought it was going to be like a 40-minute thing, and now we're at $1:30, 31.
Let me see if there's anything else. Anything internet related.
I'll check my Twitter, Instagram one more time, see if anything
my Twitter is like filled with sports and some dumb memes, not like it doesn't have a lot of weird shit on it. So
yeah, I have memes also and just sports stuff mostly.
For anyone watching this, apparently according to Kevin O'Connor, the Clippers are interested in Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet. Well,
really?
Yeah, I again don't know how valid that is, but.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, how would you be happy with having Gabe Vincent as like your starting point guard or Max Strus?
I have my questions. I mean, Gabe has been good at running the offense, but like, I don't think I'd probably still start Oladipo over him.
Or maybe you got to say, now that this Hachimura trade happens, a Kendrick Nunn reunion?
Nope. Nope. I'm good. He could do his dirty work in Washington. I'm not gonna. He'll get his maybe 20-25 minutes a game there. I'm okay. I'm good.
He'll pass.
Yeah, I don't know if I can see anything else. If I'm being completely honest.
I mean,
Duke lost on Sunday.
Yeah.
No, it was yesterday. Excuse me.
I know. It'll be interesting to see how this college basketball landscape. It's like the Big East isn't really looking that good right now. You look at Villanova, you'll get, maybe UConn. Xavier's. What's up?
UConn.
Yeah, UConn. I mean, it'll be interesting, but I feel like you also just the balance of power ever since you see guys like Coach K, Jay Wright, kind of step down. Who's going to fill that void?
I mean, Sean Miller's done a pretty good job this year.
Yeah. To be fair to him.
Yeah, to be fair. But the Mountain West, dude.
Mountain West.
My Mountain West bias will shine when I talk college basketball, but like, I don't know. I love this conference.
I mean, it's
one of the best in the nation this year.
Yeah, it's a wide open playing field. Once March comes around.
Yeah, I think I looked at it this morning. I don't know if this was updated as of today or yesterday, but I think Lunardi had Duke as like a 5 seed. And that just looking at that, it feels weird. Like, I don't,
it does.
You seem Duke is like not a 1 or 2. I mean, rightfully so. I think they're 14-6, something like that. They lost to Virginia Tech yesterday, who was 1-7 in conference play.
You can't really drop games like that.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably have to have like Carl on or
Yeah, for sure, Cervantes.
Or someone like to give us more college basketball insight. But like,
yeah, for sure we'll have a daily show with them. But
because I'm locked in on one conference, and that's
I'm locked in on one. I'm locked in on the MAC. You know, St. Peter's represent the MAC, but yeah, I gotta expand my horizons a little bit in the college basketball universe.
You could like, I don't know, Louisville. No, I'm just kidding. Don't go to
Louisville. I know. Well, I mean, Rick Pitino was over at Iona. I just saw him the other day.
Iowa's doing pretty well, right?
Yeah. They're the team to beat in the MAC right now. I go to Manhattan, so they were just over there, and I was working the camera for the game, and I was able to get his post game interview, and he wasn't wearing a suit, surprisingly, which kind of upset me. He wasn't best dressed for the rivalry, but it is what it is.
Yeah, one of the cooler stories that, I mean, of course, since I follow it, but like one of the cooler stories that I could recall from the season was Pitino against his son Richard.
Really? Oh yeah.
Yeah, when they were in Albuquerque, I thought that was just a cool like father-son coaching matchup. You don't get very many of those. I don't remember.
You don't. Yeah, exactly. It's like what we said about LeBron and Bronny. Like it's just cool to see. Like.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that might do it. Hour 36 of just randomly just bouncing all around.
Just hour 36 of vibes. You know what I mean?
For anyone watching this, we came into this. We saw like the template of like, all right, like what's usually going to be talked about, or like the type of stuff that we were going to talk about. Bagdonas, we had no idea what the hell we were talking about.
Yeah, the Slack was pretty much empty. There's nothing in the Slack. No real games to go over. No real internet stuff. I guess. Well, we did go over the Stefon Diggs, but that we had a pretty empty cupboard in terms of stuff to work with.
Just to recap some of the scores from yesterday, if I could pull it up, because I don't think we touched them like all. Just briefly go through some of them.
I can.
So yeah, Bucks beat Pistons. We talked about that. Magic once again beat the Celtics. The Bulls got the best of the Hawks. The Rockets, I think, snapped like a 10-game losing streak. Beat the Timberwolves.
Wow.
The Jazz beat the Hornets. Not very surprising.
Yeah.
Dame put up 37. The Blazers put up 147.
Wow.
They beat the Spurs, and then we touch on the Kings.
We're lighting the beam again.
Lighting the beam.
I'm happy for them. They're a fan base, like you said, with your friends. Like they deserve it.
Oh my goodness, yeah. There's a few different Kings friends that I have, and it's like misery for years. But this year, it's like whoa, like that. I mean, living on it's also one reason why I just love watching. It was a very fun story, very fun team to watch
for sure.
Even though they're not a defensive team, but
but that's not the point.
Yeah, no, it's not the point. They put up points like nobody's business, but yeah,
exactly. They can light you up.
Light the beam.
Light the beam. They're taking inspiration in any way it's possible. But shout out the Kings. Shout out the Bucks for putting up 150. Shout out the Pistons for having like no one and still putting up 130 on Milwaukee. But
yeah, how did that happen?
Yeah. Let me see. I'm just gonna quickly look through the stats, and then I'll that's my piece. But
guess you bet the stupid under in that game.
Oh,
me
280. Oh man,
it was like 240. I was like, the Bucks aren't a good offense. They got Middleton back. But they're still not a good offense, at least not yet. The Pistons have one of the worst offenses in the league. 240 is a high number.
Yeah,
put some money on the under. Nope. But then again, I'll probably have moments like this where you'll hear me talk about it. I'm probably Vendetta's worst better because
I've had to retire from DraftKings because of just how many times I've missed.
Yeah, no, like I've talked to Trey about this. Like there's been times where I've even like asked Trey, like I remember like during the NHL playoffs, there was a few nights where I texted Trey. I was like, hey, like what's a good bet? He'd tell me like a couple, and I'd bet him, and half the time, probably most of the time, I'd miss him.
NHL is just so difficult to bet on.
Well, just even that, I know I mush a lot of bets. I might look smart. I'm not when it comes to betting.
I'm not smart at gambling at all. Don't feel bad. We're in the same boat. But I'm quickly just gonna say Bogdanovich drops 33. Sadiq Bey with a cool 21. Yep. Jalen Duran, a little bit of a coming out party. We got 23 and 15. Like that. 23, 11 defensive rebounds, 15 in total. 2 steals. I mean, it's like 2 blocks. He really stuffed the stat sheet. Good for him. Jaden Ivey with a little 12-piece, 4 rebounds, 11 assists, and 2 steals.
He's been really good.
James Herrick, I know he's a big Detroit, he's a big Michigan fan. Finally, something to cheer for there once Cade Cunningham gets healthy.
You look ahead to the future, yeah. They're probably going to be partnered with a bunch of pieces come February 9th. But
that's true. I think Bogdanovich is going to be a man in demand.
Right.
But, good for the Pistons. They finally have something, it's they've been building towards nothing for the past 10 years, thinking Blake Griffin's the answer. Now they have something to look forward to. Maybe even Wembanyama falls in their laps.
Cade and Wembanyama would be
filthy.
Such a sick 1-2. Wembanyama, you could put Wembanyama on most teams and they'd be like, that's
and just he could play just about the 3, the 4, or the 5, like just absolutely dominate.
Although I did see some, I don't know, like I've watched a little bit of Wembanyama, not as much as I probably will once draft season nears, because that's when I do most of my draft.
Yeah, me same.
But like he's only shooting like 30% from 3.
Yeah, I don't know if the European 3-point line is different. I think it might be shorter than the NBA, honestly. I don't know if it's college length or I don't know.
I think it's like in between, but like that surprised me. But then again, it's probably I don't care about that much when it comes to him. Yeah. That was just something that I saw the other day that surprised me a little bit. I'm not knocking his 3, but I don't think he's going to be a bad 3-point shooter or anything.
No, I think
the difficulty. He'll take 3-pointer floaters, dude. Like like
his hands when he does his jump shots, his hands are literally above like the rim and above the
right. Like I don't have any issue with this 3, but it's just a little number that surprised me. I was like, I thought it would, like if you would have asked, like I probably thought it would have been better than that.
Yeah.
Nevertheless,
it just seems like he does everything well. Like I agree with you. Like
he does.
He's gonna no doubt slam dunk first overall picks. I think he's about as clear as they come since the lights of LeBron James, Anthony Davis, etc.
He's probably the best prospect that I can remember in my lifetime outside of LeBron. Maybe he's even better than LeBron. But
yeah, he's a once in a lifetime talent right now. We'll see how that translates once he gets over here and plays. But a lot of stuff to look forward to. I mean, we have great football coming up, basketball. Right in the heart of the season, college basketball. A lot to look forward to.
Hockey, which I will.
Yeah, hockey. Obviously, me with hockey. I'm going to keep my eyes peeled on that. But
I have to monitor the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yes, they'll most
or
certainly
not fan
be
base,
in the playoffs.
Just monitor the team.
They'll make the playoffs, I'm sure, and then there's some BS. They're going to get eliminated in some fluky way because of the curse, if you ask me.
I wonder if they have like a history of like just bad playoff.
I would say yes. They have one Stanley Cup, and that was in 2006. And since then, it's been just letdowns. Haven't even made the final since. So it could be more of the same now that Trey is placed a curse on him.
I'm gonna have to ask Trey off air like what other curses he has.
And I feel like it can't just be the Titans and the Hurricanes. There's got to be something else.
Yeah, like I don't know, fucking probably hates the Yankees or like I don't know, something stupid. Yeah. Something with like one of his rivals or what, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Who the hell knows? He probably might have a curse on a player. I don't know. Who the hell knows?
You never know. But I think that's all I got. I think we really had a good one here, Matt.
Yeah, that's all I got too.
But I think everyone, there will be one tomorrow. We won't be here. It'll be a different group of people. But this has been the January 24th Daily Show here at Vendetta Sports Media, and we'll catch you on the flip side.